What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric, and today on the channel we are looking at this Jackson HT7 Chris Broderick series guitar. This is the import version made in Indonesia, and we have it on the bench today because we're just going to do a simple pickup swap on this guitar. This guitar comes stock with Dimarzio's Chris Broderick signature pickups. This is the only way you can get those pickups. And I sometimes see them on the used market, which makes me wonder why someone would maybe want to get rid of them. Maybe they're voiced specifically for this guitar or for Chris Broderick's needs. Nevertheless, we're going to be putting in a different pickup here, and then later in this video, you're going to hear this Dimarzio Chris Broderick signature bridge pickup next to a Seymour Duncan pickup that we're going to be putting in this guitar, and you're going to hear them back to back. Isolated DI tracks, rhythm, clean, lead, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get this on the bench and let's throw a new pickup in this guitar. Failure. So the nut was like not even glued on. Alright, well, I guess we got to do that now as well, so stick around, we're gonna figure this out. As you can see, the Seymour Duncan pickup that we're going to throw in this guitar has square ears or square tabs on it, whereas the Dimarzios have more of like a little circular, almost like a triangle kind of size to it. So technically, only one side is going to fit in properly. So you have a few different options. You could start routing out the cavity, which is probably not what we're going to do, or you can do the other option, which is cut the tabs, which is probably what we're going to do. That's going to be probably the easier route, because as you can see here, there's going to be a lot of actual routing that needs to be done in order to get these Seymour Duncan pickups fitting in this particular cavity, and I don't really want to go messing up the overall aesthetic of this guitar, and that's something I don't recommend you do, but filing at least, or cutting the tab where the pickup screws go, that's going to be the easier option here. So I'm going to go do that, and then we'll install this pickup. And here is the Jackson Chris Broderick 7-string hardtail soloist all done up. We got the new Seymour Duncan pickup in the bridge here, removed the Dimarzio Chris Broderick bridge pickup here. Let's go over some of the specs on this guitar. We have the proprietary Chris Broderick design, which is kind of like the Jackson B series that were available for a little while, which are sadly discontinued. This is a mahogany body with this nice poplar burl top that's finished in blue here. Looks super nice. We also have a maple neck through design. I think there's around 3 pieces in that. We got the classic Jackson scarf joint up here. Very stable neck design here, even without the volute. We have a laurel fingerboard, which is probably a substitute for rosewood. Looks very similar to rosewood. A lot of guitar companies are still substituting rosewood with other woods that look very similar and sound very similar to rosewood, and saving rosewood for some of the more higher end premium guitars here. Still sounds great, still feels great and everything like that. So the fret edges feel pretty nice on this guitar. There's nothing sharp, nothing's standing out in a negative way at all. Through a pickup selector, we have a volume and a tone control here. Volume is push-pull for single coil options on the bridge and neck humbucker. The tone is actually a push-pull on-off switch, so when the tone is pulled up, that is when the tone is engaged. When it is down, the tone is not engaged, which is very cool. We have a kill switch on-off, so you can kind of do some Tom Morello kind of stuff or Buckethead stuff. Kind of my only gripe with the guitar, it seemed like when I was changing strings on this guitar, I had to push the saddle back in order to feed the string through the hole that was going through the guitar. Not really my preferred design. I mean, I'm sure they could have done something a little bit different, maybe a hip shot hardtail. That was kind of an annoyance for me, and if you have this guitar, or if you're going to buy this guitar, you're going to notice that changing strings might just be a little awkward at times. We then have the classic Jackson 3/4 headstock, pretty sweet. 25.5-inch scale length here with 24 jumbo frets, nickel frets, and we got the Jackson branded locking tuners. And probably the coolest part about the guitar is that the output jack is at the back side of the guitar here. Very uncommon and very cool because it stays out of your way. So now let's get to the part where we hear this guitar. So what we're going to hear in this video is actually a comparison between the Seymour Duncan pickup that I installed here versus the Dimarzio Broderick signature pickup as well. I'm going to compare both pickups in the following scenario. So you're going to first hear them both going on a clean DI, so you can hear the raw unprocessed signal and the raw signal of the guitar, not EQ'd or anything like that. We're then going to go into some clean tones, and then we're going to hear some distortion tones. Nothing's going to be in a mix. I really want to showcase how these pickups sound on their own, because that's when you're going to hear them in a metal context that actually makes more sense, where you can actually tell which pickup is what and what you're going to like more for your guitar and for your own personal needs. Without further ado, let's hear how these pickups sound. And that's going to do it today for the Jackson Chris Broderick Soloist 7-string hardtail review. Let me know in the comments below of what pickup you think sounded better. Did you like the new Seymour Duncan that was in there, or did you like the original Dimarzio signature Chris Broderick pickups? Personally, the Seymour Duncan sounded like it was the most versatile pickup, and it was the less abrasive of the two pickups. It sounded really good, and you can use it for a lot of different styles. On the other hand, the Broderick pickup sounded like there was a ton of high-end definition there. I really like that personally. It almost sounded like there was a wah engaged in some ways. I thought that was super cool, and it sounds super great for drop tunings, but obviously each to their own. A lot of people might not like that, and they might think that's a little bit too aggressive or too nasally for their own personal taste. And overall final thoughts on this guitar, I think this is a really sweet guitar. I've been able to play this for around a week or so now, and it feels really comfy. I like the extended cutaways here on the body. You can really get up to the higher frets, and they're not going to get in your way and anything like that. The neck access is really good as well. The heel access feels really good. The body is really comfy. It's not overly heavy. It's kind of big though, so I mean, it doesn't look really big on camera right now, but when you play it, it does feel a little bulkier than, let's say, a traditional Super Strat or like a Jackson Soloist or a Jackson Dinky or anything like that. Otherwise, you know, this guitar is made in Indonesia, and I hear a lot of negative about these made in Indonesia guitars, more so negative than good, but I had a D&ML on the channel here, and that was made in Indonesia. That one was killer. And this particular guitar here is a great representation of this lineup here that Jackson offers. Feels really great. There's no real sharp fret edges or anything. Yeah, sure, the nut fell off from factory, but that's happened on much more expensive made in Japan and made in Korea guitars that I've had to work on too. So thankfully that was an easy fix, and there's nothing that's really outstanding in a negative way on this guitar. Just there's certain things that you might like or might dislike because this is a signature guitar for an artist, and it's not your signature guitar, or it's not just a standard production guitar that's catered to anyone. My only real gripe with the guitar is the bridge saddles, how I have to push them back to feed some of the strings through. Kind of annoying. I really shouldn't have to do this. Is the only guitar in my probably like 16 years of playing guitar where I've had to do this, which seems a little weird. Seems a little bit more common on maybe a tremolo, like a Fender style bridge or something like that, but not for a hardtail bridge. Seems a little odd to me. So if you have this guitar, if you're buying this guitar, bear that in mind that you might have to do that. Otherwise, this guitar pretty well checks out, and it is a very sweet instrument. And if you're looking to get this guitar in its stock form with the original Dimarzio pickup, you can click the link below and use my Toman affiliate link to buy this guitar and add it to your collection. And with all that being said, thanks for checking out today's video. Let me know in the comments below of what kind of guitars you want to see next on the channel for reviews and setups and everything like that, or if you want to see other kinds of video formats as well, maybe more gear demos, more covers or anything like that. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job and you like the things that I make for you all. Very important things. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I have tons more content on the channel with guitar repairs and setups and all things like that, and like simple guitar maintenance tips as well. I also have gear demos, and I also have a lot of Dimebag and Pantera content because that's my thing, and the odd cover every now and then. Thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you next time.